This is Brescia, and right now they're on the brink of complete collapse. And although the club is in debt, the reason for their demise is simply on one man. Massimo Cellino is on the brink of killing this historic team that has seen some incredible players don the blue and white in its 114-year history, but now they look destined to be chucked out of the professional pyramid down to Serie D, and all of this is currently over just 3 million euros. So, at the last minute, we have swooped in, bought the club, and will try to rebuild them as we make Brescia the best football club in Italy, and will also guide them to becoming champions of Europe in this Brescia rebuild. And so we're going to jump into this one, but we do have an objective for season 1. We have to reclaim that 3 million euros. So we're going to have to really gut the team and rebuild from scratch. Now, this is the squad that we have, and to be honest, it isn't very impressive. There are some sellable assets though, so it'll be great to get them out and recoup some money. I do feel like this season will be looking at the bottom of the table. And so we had to get straight to work on selling those assets as we clawed in a large amount of money. So Dimitri Basoli has left for 2.6 million. Gabriel Moncini has left for 2.3 million. Davide Adorni has left for 1.5 million. And Giacomo Olsa has left for 1 million. Meaning so far we've recouped 7.4 million euros. And then we had to pick up some players. But remember, in theory, we only have 4.7 million to do that, based on the amount of money that we've regained from these fees. And so we started it by picking up Nicola Pintus for 250,000. We then picked up Honest Ahanor for 250,000 as well. We then picked up Amatucci for 550k for our holding midfield position. We then picked up Filippo Mane, a great young Italian centre-back from Dortmund, for 700k. And then we picked up some rotators. So Matteo Francesconi comes in for 750,000. And then Jacobo Martini comes in for £1 million this summer, which means our spend for the season was 3.5 million, meaning we've actually recouped a 3.9 million pound profit, which covers our debt. So now we can jump into the save and really start to rebuild Brescia. And as you can see here, the squad for season 1, it isn't fantastic. There are some players we have to try and train up, but I'm excited to do it, and I can't wait to see what they can do. Now, the Ballon d'Or winner for 2024 is Erling Haaland, and to be fair, we didn't really expect anything else. Now, here we are at the halfway stage, and we're around where we expected to be. We're near the bottom. We're in 15th, 19 points from our first 19 games. But if we keep this up, we most likely survive in theory in Serie B. So that's all we're looking for this season, and then we're going to grow from there. And when it comes to our best player in the first half of the season, that has to be Nicola Galazzi. 7 goals in the first 19 games. He's the centre attacker mid that we've actually converted to striker. So it's going to take him a little bit of time to get going, but it looks like he started that journey very well. And when you actually look at it, he's doing pretty well on the assists as well. 4 already this season. This guy looks like a great player to be having as our number 9. Now, going into the winter window, we didn't expect to make any moves, but we have a 36-year-old midfielder in Bakir Binyanison, and Lech Poznan offered us £400,000 literally 5 days before the window opened, so we couldn't really turn it down. So we've put that money to good use, putting that money towards Genoa in a £400,000 deal for Patrizio Massini. He's a much younger midfielder, but strengthens us in theory over time. So I'm very excited to see what he can do, even if it's a bit of a downgrade for the moment. And so with that team, we jump to the end of the season, and we do finish in 16th, a point a game, finishing on 38 points after our 38 game season. And I'll absolutely take it. Hypothetically, I just didn't want to get relegated, and we won't in this position. So it's a great stabilizing season, and now we can go for it next year. And when you then dive deeper to see how our players performed, Galazzi was brilliant with 16-7 this year, Juric with 14-4. But apart from that, we did struggle a little bit. Foyata done pretty well with 5-6. We need more from our midfield next year if we're going to make a charge. I'd like to see more output. we're going to make sure we push for that in the next seasons. And then when you look at the best performing players this season, Loriente has smashed it with 24 goals for Sassuolo, winning the Golden Boot. The top assist award goes to Raffaele Puccino, who picked up 11 assists for Bari. And then the Golden Glove goes to Boris Radanovic, who picked up 11 clean sheets for Bari this season. They've had a fantastic year. I would like to see some of our players next season though. That will be our next goal. And now the final thing to do is go through all the competitions. So Palermo and Sassuolo will go up the season and they'll be joined by Salernitana as they won through the playoffs. The Coppa Italia went to Napoli as they beat Palermo 2-1 in the final in that one. The Champions League went back to Italy with AC Milan as they beat Dortmund 2-1 in the final. The Europa League goes to Roma as they beat Porto 3-1 in the final. And Chelsea beat Rapid Vienna 2-1, taking home the Conference League. And that marks the end of the first season. It won't set any fans' hopes and dreams alive, but it settles us, it makes us ready, and now we can go and build and turn Brescia into a top team. So going into season 2, we had to make some space for some big signings. So Luca Lazzarini went out for 1.4 million. Alexander Giallo went out for 1.4 million as well. Massimo Bertagnoli went out for 1.1 million, followed by Mateusz Vereth, who went out for 1.1 million as well, freeing up space for some massive new additions. They come in the form of first Axel Soyberg, who's just a free agent to cover our right back spot when we need him. We've brought in a new goalkeeper in Tommaso Martinelli for 1.6 million, a huge new goalkeeper brought in from Fiorentina. And then we brought in a duo from Milan. Firstly, Mattia Liberali, a young, talented centre attacking midfielder for 1.6 million, followed by Kevin Zaroli. 2.6 million splashed out for this guy, and that is going to seriously strengthen us for this season, meaning that the team looks like this for this season. There has been some growth since last year, still some weak spots, but we're getting all together, and I can't wait to see if we can get anywhere near promotion. Now in 2025, the Ballon d'Or did end up going to Vinicius Jr. The standout player is the Brazilian left winger from Real Madrid. I wonder if we'll have any of our players in this sort of position by the end of the save. And with this team, we get to the halfway stage, and it's basically the same as last season. 16th, 21 points, so we're a tiny bit ahead of where we were last year. I was expecting much bigger improvements with the signings we've made. We're going to really need to up our game in the second half of the season. But one positive from the first half of the season is Nicola Galazzi has smashed it, 13 goals, making him the top scorer so far. What a start to the season. Can he keep this up? Now in January, Genoa called back Calvani, so we had to go and pick up a new replacement. So we picked up a short-term loan for a centre-back from Hellas Verona, Corradi. He will just come in for 6 months to fill the gap until we have the resources to go and buy someone to fill that position. And so we've jumped forward to the end of the season, and believe it or not, we have only just made playoffs on the final day. We finish in 8th, which puts us in the playoff quarter-final, and now we have a chance to get promoted to Serie A this season. And so we started this playoff journey by beating Modena 2-1, a brilliant start in the quarter-final, and that got even better as we went to Pisa, beat them 2-1 across 2 legs. We've absolutely smashed it, securing ourselves a playoff game against Sampdoria in the final. Can we win this and get ourselves a spot in next year's Serie A? And so it all comes down to this, playing Sampdoria 0-0 in the first leg. Can we win and put ourselves in the Serie A next season? No, we can't. We lose on penalties. We go all the way, but Amatucci misses the final pen and they convert, meaning we will spend another season in Serie B. This is going to be a long one to try and get through this again. And so after a disappointing end to the season, we're going to try and look at the positives. Galazzi picked up 38 contributions this year. Liberali had 25. Our 2 central midfielders got a lot more involved with 9 goals apiece. And Juric and Bianchi picked out 8 goals each. And considering they spent about half the season playing as our main striker due to injuries, that makes me very happy that the goals are being shared well. But hopefully we can do more next season. Can these players fire us to Serie A glory? I really hope so. And then when you look at how our boy Galazzi fared against the best in the league, he comes away with the golden boot this season. He's absolutely smashed it. And on top of that, he's also come away with the top assist award. This guy's unbelievable. What a player we have turned him into. We don't complete the trio just as Piacelli picked up the clean sheet award. 11 clean sheets, just ahead of Martinelli with 10. But still a great season for our keeper. And now the final thing to do is just sum up all the competitions. So Inter Milan end up winning the Coppa Italia this season. The Champions League ends up going to Manchester City as they beat Barcelona 3-1 in the final. Tottenham end up beating Stuttgart 2-1 to win the Europa League this season. And finally, Manchester United beat Feyenoord 4-1 to win the Conference League. And so going into season 3, we had to get some big transfers done. So Andrea Cistana leaves for 2.2 million. Nicolo Corrado leaves for 1.9 million. Flavio Bianchi leaves for 1.3 million. Gennaro Borelli leaves for 1.1 million. And Lorenzo Andronocci leaves for 570k, freeing up space for some big new signings. The first of which is Giuseppe Ambrosino, who comes in as a free agent as a rotational striker. Christian Carradi also comes in from Hellas Verona, making the move permanent for 700k. Francesco Di Bartolo comes in as our rotational goalkeeper, that costs 1.2 million. Ilario Montarisi comes in for 1.4 million. Riyad Adrisi comes in for 1.5 million as a rotational left back. And then we've signed a star new striker in Francesco Kamada, 3.1 million pounds from Milan, a huge new signing. Hopefully he can take us to even greater height. And then after that, the squad looks like this. It is so much stronger. I can't wait to see what they can do this season. I really think we have a chance at automatic promotion now. Now in 2026, the Ballon d'Or goes back to Erling Haaland, taking it back off Vinicius. So the Manchester City striker is now the best player in the world. But back to how we're doing in the league. In the first half of the season, we're doing so much better than we did last year. We're now in 8th, a really good start to the season. The team's only going to grow as time goes on. Hopefully we'll be up there with the best of them, only 9 points off automatic spots. Can we make that late push and really go for it in the second half of the season? And then when you look at the top performance in the first half of the season, Galazzi's up there with 11, and considering the talent he's surrounded by, he's in great company. Can he keep this up though? I really hope so. We need that push for playoffs at least. If not, auto promotion. And so we've continued on in the season. We've kept it going strong, meaning we finish in 8th in the end. It's another playoff campaign here. Quarterfinals come up now against Salernitana. Can we do something here and get ourselves promoted to Serie A? And so we've smashed it, going into this quarterfinal, beating Salernitana 2-1. That put us into a semi-final where we played Spezia and beat them 4-2 on aggregate across 2 legs, which sets up a final versus Sassuolo, a fantastic team, a tough challenge. Can we get over the line in this one and secure our place in Serie A? And so it all comes down to this. We have a 1-0 aggregate lead in the final and a chance to secure our place in Serie A. Can we get promoted? Yes, we can. Zeroli picks up a brace, sending us up to the top division in Italy. We will now be getting promoted finally. And I mean, a big shout out to our star players. Galazzi picked up 39 contributions, Kamada 27 goals, Liberali with 12. They were massive for us this season, absolutely sent us. And it's one of the reasons Galazzi picked up the Player of the Season award. What a year it's been. We are just going from strength to strength. And I mean, when you look here, you can just see Galazzi and Kamada have shown their class. 19 for Kamada, 25 in the golden boot for Galazzi. What a season. These two have been unbelievable. And it's also great to see Numa there with 8 assists. He didn't take away the top assist award. That went to Tremoni, but still a fantastic year for our young Italian central midfielder. And then the Golden Glove went to Leon and Zlobin as they picked up 10 clean sheets apiece. They absolutely smashed it. What a year though. We've been promoted. Next stop, Serie A. And so the final thing to do is go through the competition winners. Inter Milan beat AS Roma on penalties, winning the Coppa Italia. The Champions League went to AC Milan as they beat Liverpool on penalties. Arsenal came out on top in an all-English affair in the Europa League versus Manchester United. And Borussia Dortmund win the Conference League, beating Union Saint-Gilloise. So that brings an end to our time in the second tier. What a time it's been. We've grown into a fantastic team, and now we have a massive challenge ahead of us, and we step up to it. Now here we are in season 4, and we need a couple of big players to really strengthen us for the Serie A. We had to get rid of Dickman for 2.2 million at right back due to his age. He's 30 years old and we just need someone a bit younger. And we also got rid of Basaggio to make space for a new midfielder. We got him out for 2.1 million. So now we have 2 spots to fill. We've done that by picking up Justin Kumi, a player that plays for Sassuolo, the team we actually kept in Serie B last season. So it's a £4 million deal for the new midfielder. And then also we bring in a right back from Genoa. Brooke Norton-Cuffy comes in for £5.5 million, meaning we are now ready, or as ready as we'll ever be. So bring on Serie A. And so the team looks like this. I'm not sure if it is good enough, but it's the best we've got. So let's jump into season 4 and see what we can do. So now that we've been promoted to the top division and the squad is sorted, we have another season objective to complete for season 4. That is to completely avoid relegation by any means necessary, survive the drop, and solidify ourselves as a top division club so we can continue this rebuild. And in season 4, Erling Haaland continues his domination of world football as he picks up his 3rd Ballon d'Or in 4 years. He is the best player in the world for 2027. This guy is unbelievable. But let's check in at the halfway stage, and at the moment we are only just surviving 16th, 2 points from the drop. If we can keep this up, that'll be fantastic. But we are in danger of relegation. We need a brilliant second half of the season to make sure that doesn't happen. And these 2 players are trying their absolute best to get us there. Nicola Galazzi again and Francesco Camada, 7 goals apiece already. Both doing unbelievably to keep us in this league. But we need just a little bit more. I know it's a lot to demand, but everything is on the line. So this is it. No moves in the January window. 19 games to decide our season. Do we do enough to stay in this division? And yes we do. 42 points, 10 points clear of the relegation zone in the end. We finish in 12th. It's an unbelievable second half of the season. What an outcome. We are truly going to build from this now and really cement ourselves as a top Serie A club. The next push, of course, is that step to Europe, but it might take a season or 2. And then when you look at how our team performed, Galazzi with 21 goals, Camada with 20, Zeroli 17 contributions, 15 for Liberali. Everyone's getting involved. They've been a key factor for us staying in this division. And really, we are starting to put together something special. And then when we look at the best performers in the league, Noah Okafor picked up 31 goals for Lazio, winning the Golden Boot this season. The top assist award went to Lookman with 15 assists. He absolutely smashed it. And then the Golden Glove goes to Lucas Chevalier, picking up 12 clean sheets for Atalanta. That is unreal. I really hope though we can get some of our players on these lists in the coming years. And now the final thing to do is look at all the competitions. So Atalanta won the Serie A, running away with it by a mile in the end. The Coppa Italia goes to Napoli as they beat Inter 3-1 in the final. The Champions League is won by AC Milan again as they beat Real Madrid 3-1 in the final. PSV were victorious over Juventus, winning 4-2 to take home the Europa League. And then to wrap up the season, the Real Sociedad come out victorious, beating Stuttgart 2-1 in the final, meaning they take home the Conference League. And so here we are in season 5, a Serie A club on merit. And now we've got some transfers to do. So Ambrosino leaves for 6.5 million. Matteo Francesconi leaves for 1.8 million. And Nicola Pintus leaves for 450k. And then we've brought in some huge new signings. So Mex Merdin comes in for free as a rotational striker, a really good addition. We've also brought in Daniel Dagger 4.2 million from Southampton, a great new holding midfield option. And then Jean-Noel Balochan comes in for 11 million to solidify our defense, concluding our business for this summer and making us so much stronger. And so this is the squad for season 5. A lot of 80s now, few high 70s. We're doing really well to grow the team. And we now start pushing for European competition. I'd love to see us in the top half of the table. Now it's another year and Erling Haaland continues to be an absolute force. 2028 goes to the Norwegian striker. He is the best player in the world again. Can anyone take this guy off his mantle? This is outrageous. And so we've reached the halfway stage and we're in 11th, but we are only 5 points off Europe. So we've had a really good start of the season. It's going to be really hard to break into that group of like elite Italian clubs. We're going to try our best, keep plodding on and see if we can do something special in the second half of the season. And something I'm loving to see right now is Francesco Kamada up there in the top 5 scorers so far this season. Just 2 of Victor Gyökeres. That is unbelievable. This guy is really putting on a show for us. And so because we have limited funds and no transfers in this January window, we just have to keep going stronger, training our players up, making them better over time through player development. Can we do this? Can we make something special happen? Is there a chance we end up in Europe next season? And so the answer to that is sadly no. We finish in 9th. We do finish outside of those big European spots, behind those really big Italian clubs like Fiorentina, Juventus, Napoli. It's a tough area to crack into, but we're on the verge. We just need another season or two to really start dominating. And the league winners end up having the top scorer in Luis Openda, 21 goals, making him the Golden Boot winner this season. DiMarco also showed up as the top assist award winner, coming away with 12 assists throughout the entirety of the season. And then Sfila dominated for Roma, taking home 14 clean sheets. What a campaign that is. He will win the Golden Glove. And so with none of our players showing up on those top leaderboards throughout the league, I had to come and have a look at how our squad performed. Kamada was unbelievable once again. Liberali really contributed for midfield the same as Zeroli, but it's very evident to see where there's been a drop-off, and that's with Galazzi, only 6 goals and 5 assists all year. That's a really tough one to see, considering he was really smashing it over the last few seasons. And so the last thing to do is look at all the standings in the competitions. The Coppa Italia ended up going to Juventus after they beat Napoli on penalties. The Champions League goes to City as they beat AC Milan 1-0 in the final. Spurs pull home another Europa League, beating Roma this season 2-1. That is a massive win for them. And then Inter Milan complete a double, winning the UEFA Conference League, beating Girona 3-2. And so that was a bit of a damp end to the season after seeing we could have done so much more had our players have shown up. But let's look to the bright side. We've still improved, we're still growing. We can do more next season. Europe's on the table. Let's go for it. So season 6 is a big one. We had to get rid of a few players to free up some money and space. Andrea Papetti has left for 5.2 million, as well as our starting goalkeeper Tommaso Martinelli. He's left for 19 million to Sporting Lisbon. And then we brought in 2 new signings to strengthen the starting lineup. So David Adogu comes in for 10 million pounds. The German's going to really strengthen our defensive options. And then Owusu Aduru comes in for 27 million. The Dutch goalkeeper is going to be our new starting number 1, and that will really strengthen us and make us a lot more competitive in the league this season. And so for season 6, this is the team. There's some actual world-class players starting to show up here. We need to keep this going, keep signing quality players that can grow as well. We're on the cusp. It is all coming together slowly. And lo and behold, this guy continues to do it. How is Haaland dominating football like this? This is now 5 Ballon d'Ors, 4 in consecutive years. Is he about to overtake Messi? Because this is outrageous. But back to our season, we have done unbelievably well in the first half of the season. We're in Champions League spots, currently 4th with 37 points after 19 games. Brescia are now on the cusp of being one of the better teams in Italy. This has been an unbelievable season so far. What a start this is. And it is great to see Galazzi back doing what he does best. He struggled last year, but he's picked it back up. 12 goals in 18 games, 4th in the overall leaderboard. This guy's back, and that is exactly what we want to see. And so we reached January, and we didn't have any money to spend on transfers, so the team stays as it is. But we not only have a chance at European football, we have a chance at Champions League football. A huge opportunity ahead, 19 games to seal the deal. Can we perform this miracle and get ourselves in the elite European competition for next season? And so we jump to the end of the season, and we've done it. We're going to be in the Champions League next year. 74 points secures 4th place. What a season. This has been absolutely incredible. And when you look at how the team performed, they've smashed it. I mean, Galazzi 28 and 9, Kamada 26 goals, 15 and 11 for Liberali. And the midfielders were coming in with assists, goals, just making sure that we were doing everything we needed. This is it. This is the team that's going to get us there. They're going to be in the Champions League next year. What a season. I can't believe we done it. And it's great to see Galazzi back on these leaderboards. He finishes joint 2nd in the top scorers list, 22 goals. The golden boot does go to Mika Biereth. What a season for the Atlanta striker. The top assist award goes to Zaroli, 12 assists. He smashed it this season. What a player we've signed there. And then Awosu Aduru comes in with 12 clean sheets. He doesn't quite win the golden glove. That goes to Jonas Erbig, who picked up 16 for Lazio. But what a season. And then the final thing to do is wrap up all the competitions. Now, we actually won Coppa Italia, beating Juventus 3-2 in the final in this one. The Champions League went to Manchester United as they beat Frankfurt on penalties. The Europa League went to Sporting Lisbon. They went all the way to penalties versus Celtic as well and came out victorious. And then Wolfsburg wrap up the season with a 3-2 win over Brest, taking home the Conference League. So now we're in the Champions League. We just need a few big signings to really complete the squad. Can we go for it and do something outrageous next season by winning it all? But here we are in season 7, more transfers being done to really strengthen the team. So Ilario Monterisi leaves for 6.8 million, Riyad Adrisi leaves for 2.8 million, Axel Sjoberg leaves for 970k, and Michel Avella leaves for 180k. Freeing up the space for some new signings like Oscar Anel. He comes in for free to become our 3rd choice goalkeeper. We've brought in Marvin Kaleta, who will be our backup right back. He's come in as a free agent as well. Andre Garcia comes in from Roma for 21 million to be our new starting left back. And then we bring in the young Dutch centre back Rav Vandenberg. £26 million, and he will be our new star centre-back to keep everything out in defence. And so this is the team for Season 7 and our maiden voyage into the Champions League. During this season, pretty much everyone will become 80 rated, which will be great to see. Can we cause an upset though and do something special by turning over the Champions League and making it ours? Now, Vinny Jr. has finally put an end to Haaland's reign of terror. The best player in the world is back to the Brazilian left winger. These two are going at it right now. I absolutely love it. Now, here we are at the halfway stage of season 7. And we're in 2nd place. We are some way behind AC Milan. They've absolutely destroyed it going into the start of the season, but we're still up there. We're getting better. We just need to keep on their toes. Hopefully they drop some points. I do feel like maybe that 13-point gap will be a little bit too big for us this season. And it's also great to see Kamada up there as one of the top goal scorers and Galazzi not far behind with 11. These guys are smashing it. I am loving this strike partnership. Now, there was just a quick deal done in January. Justin Kumi left to Stuttgart. That was a £23 million deal, leaving a hole in the midfield. And then we had to replace him. So we picked up a young Trey Nyoni from Arsenal. £28 million for the 80 rated central midfielder. He will have a much higher ceiling, so hopefully he can take us to new heights. Now, in our first attempt at the Champions League, we finished 22nd, which puts us into the playoff. We will be taking on Fenerbahce over 2 legs to see if we can find a place in the round of 16. And we do get over that hurdle. We beat Fenerbahce 2-1 on aggregate. Away from home, we got the draw that got us over the line. So now we will be in the round of 16. But we jump forward to the end of the season and we do finish in second. 15 points off first though. There's still a major gap. And it's just one of those things that's going to take a little bit of time. But the squad is really coming together now. Now, when you look at the squad, there's been some incredible performers. Liberali, 14-7. Zeroli, 14-11. Mada, 31 goals, 8 assists. Galazzi, 34 and 8 assists. These guys are unbelievable. The squad we're assembling is absolutely crazy. And when you look at how we compare to the rest of the league, BRF does come away with the golden boot with 27 goals, but Galazzi with 23 and second. And Kamada with 21 and third. Our strike partnership is unbelievable. But there is that one question. Do we stick or twist with Galazzi? Now he's going to be 31 years old next year. In the league, the top assist award goes to Nicholas Jackson as he picks up 14 assists for Lazio. And then Awosu Aduru, Andrew and Conde all pick up the Golden Glove Award. 9 clean sheets apiece. Absolutely smashed it. This keeper has been unbelievable since his arrival. Now, the final thing for us to do is go through all the competitions. So Lazio ended up actually winning the Super Cup, beating us in the final. That's a hard pill to swallow. Milan beat Juventus 2-1 in the final as they bring a home Coppa Italia this year. The Champions League goes to Real Madrid as they beat Man City 1-0 in the final. Arsenal take down Leverkusen as they beat them 2-1 in their final to win the Europa League. And Valencia win 2-1 versus Inter Milan, bringing home the Conference League. That will conclude the season. I can't put it any other way. Then it's just a mixed bag of emotions. And so going into season 8, we decided to get rid of Galazzi. He's aging. He had an amazing fee available of 115 million. So he's gone to Borussia Dortmund, and trust me, we'll bring in a great player. We've also got rid of Jean-Noel Belosian, 33 million to Tottenham, but we've brought in Pietro Camuzzo for 42.5 million to plug the defense. He's a serious addition, but we've gone big with a huge striker from Brazil. Endrick joins for 180 million pounds. The 91 rated striker will be the star man. Can we get this over the line in the Champions League? I really hope so. And so this is the team. I really do feel like this gives us a chance. We've got some class players all over the pitch. I think we're strong enough, and they'll only grow throughout the season. Let's jump into this one. Let's jump into season 8 and see if we can create some magic. Now, in season 8, the Ballon d'Or goes to someone new, and someone I believe generated. Talbot wins the Best Player in the World Award 2031. Very interesting to see someone new here. And so we've jumped to the halfway stage, and so far this is unreal. Top of the league, 41 points after 19 games. We're absolutely smashing it. Can we keep this up in the second half of the season? And Kamada's currently the main man sending us there. 12 goals in the first half of the year. Not quite Marcus Thuram, who's got 17. That's outrageous. But still a good start to the season and a great platform to build off. And then when it comes to the Champions League, an unbelievable group stage, unbeaten, 16 points, we finish 4th, meaning we go automatically through to the round of 16. I love it when you get to skip the playoffs. So now it comes down to this, the second half of the season. Can we get it done? Can we go through in the Champions League into the latter stages and smash it in the league? Let's jump to the end of the season and find out. And we do smash it. We win the league by 7 points, 38 game season, slogged it out, but we came out as victors. We've smashed it, beating Juventus Milan as our closest competition. Serie A champions. That objective is complete. And when you look at the top scorer list, Kamada takes home the golden boot and Endrick picks up 18. These two have been absolutely unbelievable. The top assist award goes to Azon and Adeyemi as they pick up 10 assists each in this one. And then Owusu Aduru picks up 13 clean sheets, taking home the golden glove. What a season for our players. They have really stepped up. And so this is how it looks for our team over the course of the entire season, all competitions. Kamada picks up 34 goals, Endrick 28, Liberali with 21 and 11, Zeroli 8 assists. Everyone has really stepped up. What a squad we have. They have absolutely killed it. Now, the only other thing to show you is that we have actually won Coppa Italia, beating Atalanta 3-0. Absolute domination. What this means is we've won the league, won the cup, and we now have to look towards a Champions League final to complete an unbelievable treble. And so it all comes down to this: Arsenal versus Brescia at Wembley Stadium. Can we win that trophy and bring home European glory? Saka over the ball from the free kick, goes for the clip in. Ball in, it's a good header, just wide. Looks for that clip, does find it, out to Liberali, but no super space here. There it is, down to Norton Cuffy. Finds the ball back, good strike, good block. Collect the ball, get things moving. Liberali. Little dribble moves here and there. Lovely piece of play. Dribbling away. Space at the back post if it's there. For Hendrick, he gets the header. What a start. Hendrick scores. 27 minutes and it's 1-0. Brilliant play from Liberali. But the header from the Brazilian was sublime. And as far as De Jong though, tackled, can't win it. Still with Arsenal, they find Charles, good stop. Still with Laporte, finds the extra man, hits it, good save again from Owusu Adoro. He's unbelievable, moving quickly as well. Here's Nayoni, waiting for Kamada, but he finds Hendrick instead, who could just get 2 on it. How's he slotted that home? It's absolutely beautiful. Keeper didn't have a chance, he got on the end of it. And that's just a lovely, calm and composed finish into the bottom corner. A piece of play as it only falls to Camuzzo. He finds Vandenberg. Arsenal all over it, but it's stolen away. Clip forward for Hendrick, he gets a foot on it. Good save. What a stop that is. Hendrick, acrobatics. Coming short. Zaroli takes his man out the game. Gets it into Kamada. What a save that is. That is top bins. And he's clawed it out. What a save. Could he create something special? Here he goes for it. Isn't far away at all. But into midfield and be called European champions. Beating Arsenal convincingly 2-0. Hendrick the hero. What a game. What a save. This Brescia rebuild is done. And Liberali will step up as the captain, as the hero, the playmaker. What a man. What a team. This crowns Brescia as European champions, completing the save. If you've enjoyed, please do subscribe. We're so close to 1,000. Like if you've enjoyed the video, comment what you want in the future. That is it for today, but thank you to the one channel member, Jezzabeats318. You're an absolute hero. If you want to become a channel member, hit the join button down below. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely rest of the day, and peace out.